All right, let's jump right in, shall we? Last night in the NBA was absolutely wild. 5 games, each with its own story to tell, and we're going to unpack all of it right here, right now.
You got it. Beyond those box scores, there's always a deeper story. We'll dig into the real meaning behind these wins and losses, what they say about the teams, and what we can expect as we head towards the playoffs.
First off, let's rewind to that crazy finish in Phoenix. Suns over the Clippers, 111 to 109. I mean, I thought I was going to have a heart attack watching that last minute. How'd the Suns manage to pull that one out?
Well, think about this. They did it without DeAndre Ayton. No starting center against a Clippers team that can really dominate inside. You'd think they'd be at a huge disadvantage. But they stepped up.
Yeah, they did. They hung tough on the boards, and they didn't shy away from attacking the basket. It was like they adapted on the fly.
That's what good teams do, right? And let's not forget Devin Booker, that game-winning shot, ice in his veins. But it wasn't just him.
Oh, absolutely. Every time the Clippers tried to make a run, it seemed like the Suns had an answer ready.
Chris Paul, veteran leadership. He kept everyone calm, kept the ball moving, made sure they didn't get rattled. And hey, he didn't do too bad himself with 22 points and 10 assists.
Gotta love that veteran presence. Speaking of impressive wins, the Milwaukee Bucks absolutely crushed the Utah Jazz last night, 125 to 110. I mean, Giannis was unreal, but was it all just him?
Well, Giannis was phenomenal. No way around that. A triple-double, 30 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. But the thing about the Bucks is they're more than just Giannis, right?
Yeah, that's what made them so scary. You could feel it watching the game. Everyone was contributing.
That's right. Chris Middleton with 22, Drew Holiday with 18. The whole team was on fire offensively. Ball movement, finding the open man, hitting their shots. It was a clinic in offensive efficiency.
They really do look like serious contenders, don't they? Now get ready for this one. Dallas Mavericks absolutely dismantled the Washington Wizards, 130 to 108. Luka Dončić, well, he was just Luka Dončić. Unbelievable.
Dončić was in his zone. 40 points, 11 assists, just doing what he does. But you know what really impressed me? It was the way he controlled the game.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't just scoring, was it? He was making plays, setting up his teammates, dictating the pace.
He knew exactly when to attack, when to dish it out.
Yeah.
And don't forget the other guys. Tim Hardaway Jr. dropped 25. Kristaps Porzingis chipped in with 20. The Mavericks' offense was just relentless.
Yeah, they were firing on all cylinders. It seemed like they could score at will.
That's what's so tough about them. They can beat you from outside, inside, in transition. They've got so many weapons, the Wizards just couldn't keep up.
Now, let's shift gears to a game that was a bit closer. The Chicago Bulls edged out the Denver Nuggets, 129 to 121. What stood out to you in this high-scoring affair?
Well, I got to say, the Bulls showed some real grit in that one. I mean, they were going up against Nikola Jokic, and we all know what he's capable of.
Oh, yeah. Another triple-double for Jokic, 26 points, 15 rebounds, 12 assists. He's a beast.
He is. But the Bulls didn't back down. Zach LaVine, wow, 38 points. He was unstoppable.
Yeah, he had one of those nights where everything he threw up went in. But it wasn't just LaVine, right?
Right. DeMar DeRozan had a solid game with 28. And they got some key contributions from Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso. That's what makes them dangerous, their depth. They could hurt you in so many ways.
They really are a well-rounded team. And finally, we have to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves. They pulled off a tough win against the Atlanta Hawks, 100 to 92. And you know what? The thing that really caught my eye was their defense. They shut down the Hawks, and they shut down Trae Young.
You're not wrong. They played with a defensive intensity we haven't seen from them consistently this season. They were active, communicating well, making life difficult for Trae Young, who only managed 20 points.
It was like they had a different energy about them. And of course, Karl-Anthony Towns had another big night, 28 points, 14 rebounds, but it felt like his impact went beyond the numbers, you know?
You're right about that. Towns was a force on both ends of the floor, but it was the team defense that really won them that game. They held one of the highest scoring teams in the league to just 92 points. That says a lot.
Okay, I'm still trying to catch my breath after all that action. Whew. But you know, there's always more to the story than just the final score, and I know you've got that X-ray vision for spotting the hidden gems. What caught your eye tonight?
Well, let's go back to that Suns-Clippers nail-biter for a second. Yeah, Booker's game winner was the showstopper, no doubt. But I was really watching Cameron Johnson off the bench.
Oh, yeah. He had a good night. He always seems to find a way to make those big plays.
Exactly. 15 points, including a clutch three-pointer down the stretch. With 8 and out, someone had to step up, and Johnson was ready. He's a player to keep your eye on, that's for sure.
Now, speaking of players to watch, the Utah Jazz, they haven't looked quite right lately. This loss to the Bucks makes it 3 in a row for them. Anything to be concerned about there?
Well, it's early in the season, so no need to panic just yet. But their offense, it's not the well-oiled machine we saw last year.
Yeah, it feels like they're missing something.
Right. They're relying too much on isolation plays for Mitchell and Gobert. It's not the free-flowing, everyone contributes style that made them so dangerous before.
They need to find that spark again, that's for sure. Now, the Dallas Mavericks, their offense was just unstoppable against the Wizards, but is there any worry about them being too reliant on Luka Dončić?
It's a good question. Doncic is incredible, no doubt. He can carry a team on his back,
Mhm.
but to win championships, you need more than one guy, right?
Right, you need everyone to contribute.
Exactly. Tim Hardaway Jr., he had a decent night, but he can be inconsistent. And then there's Portier. He's got all the talent in the world, but he needs to stay healthy and find his groove.
Yeah, consistency is key. If those guys can step up consistently, the Mavericks become a whole different beast. Now, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls. Another impressive win against the Nuggets. They're exceeding expectations left and right. What's their secret sauce?
They've got this great balance of offensive firepower and defensive toughness. Levine and DeRozan, they're a scoring duo that just clicks. And they're getting solid contributions from the other guys, especially on defense.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso, they've been locking guys down all season.
They're pests, always disrupting, creating turnovers. And don't forget about Vucevic. He's a steady presence inside, and he can put up big numbers when needed.
They play with this confidence like they know they belong. And speaking of confidence, the Minnesota Timberwolves, their defense against the Hawks was a revelation. Can they keep that up?
That's the million-dollar question. They have the talent to be a great defensive team, but they haven't always shown it.
Last night, though, it was like a switch flipped. They were all over Trae Young, communicating, rotating, just swarming him.
You can't underestimate the impact of Patrick Beverley. He brings this intensity, this grit that was missing before. And with Towns playing at an all-star level on both ends of the court, they've got the pieces.
It's exciting to see what they can do if they keep playing like that. Watching these games tonight, it really hit me the importance of coaching. Monty Williams, Mike Budenholzer, Billy Donovan, these guys have their teams playing at a high level.
Absolutely. Coaching is often overlooked, but it makes a huge difference. These coaches have created systems that play to their players' strengths, and they've built a culture of hard work and accountability.
It shows. All right, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a question to ponder. Which player surprised you the most tonight? Think about it, and we'll discuss it when we come back. All right, welcome back. We've covered a lot of ground tonight, some big wins, some surprising performances, and the always crucial role of coaching. But let's get back to that question I left you with. Who surprised you the most tonight?
There were a lot of great performances, but the one that really stuck with me was Cameron Johnson. The way he stepped up for the Suns with Ayton out, it was impressive.
Yeah, he really rose to the occasion, hitting big shots, playing solid defense. You could see the confidence growing with every minute.
And that's what's exciting about young players like him. You see those flashes of brilliance, and they have the potential to be something special.
Thinking back on all the games we discussed, one thing that really stands out is the variety of styles. You had the Suns winning a tight defensive battle, the Bucks just overwhelming the Jazz with their offense, the Mavs showcasing their versatility, and the Timberwolves, well, they won with defense. Who would have thought? It just goes to show there's no one right way to win in this league.
And that's what makes the NBA so great. So many different approaches, so many talented teams and players. It keeps you guessing, that's for sure.
And it makes predicting the playoffs nearly impossible. But hey, that's half the fun, right? The unpredictability, the anything can happen feeling. It's what keeps us coming back for more.
Absolutely. This season is wide open, and it's going to be a wild ride to the finish line.
That's what I love about it. Every game matters, every win, every loss, it all adds up. And for all you NBA fans out there, don't just focus on the scores. Pay attention to the trends, the storylines, the players who are stepping up. It's all part of the bigger picture.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Mm-hmm.
Every NBA game has something to offer, something to learn from, even if your team isn't playing.
Well said. And that's a wrap for our deep dive tonight. We'll be back soon to break down more NBA action. Until then, keep those hoops dreams alive.